This week on The Splash, we get ready for the Orchard Lake Fine Art Show. Then we enjoy learning about the historic Tuskegee Airmen. And later, we join in on the fun of the annual ArtSail Summer Show. The Splash is a production of Civic Center TV. We're a news magazine that covers everything from local news to feature stories, also that we can bring you the latest from the greater West Bloomfield area. And now, let's dive into The Splash. Welcome to The Splash. I'm your host, Shannon Line, and as always, thank you for joining us. West Bloomfield Township is gearing up for the annual Orchard Lake Fine Art Show and returning to its roots. Reporter Tyler Kieft has the details.
After enduring last year's construction on Orchard Lake Road, the Orchard Lake Fine Art Show is returning to its traditional location. The Orchard Lake Fine Art Show has been a staple of summer in greater West Bloomfield for 15 years. After being held at West Bloomfield High School last summer, the event is making a return to the heart of West Bloomfield on Powers and Daly Road.
We moved it last year to West Bloomfield High School because of the major construction going on Orchard Lake Road. This location has a feel of a downtown area for West Bloomfield. And not only that, but it has great restaurants, and the patrons now have a chance to leave the show, go inside a beautiful restaurant, have a wonderful meal, and then come back, have a drink, and then come back to the show.
With the Orchard Lake Boulevard complete, traffic will flow much easier to the art show, allowing not only more patrons to visit the show itself, but inviting additional visitors to explore the many shops and restaurants in the heart of the township.
The street feel is just more of a festival feel. And again, like I said, going back to the restaurants, people are able to leave the show, come back and leave the show, eat, come back and enjoy the rest of the afternoon or the rest of the day. Take a nice break. And that's the reason why this location works out better for a community event.
In addition to a move back to the traditional location, the art show will once again feature another of its excellent traditions, the youth art competition.
This program is unique and one of a kind within the Orchard Lake Fine Art Show, and as part of our commitment to bring art education into the community, we've encouraged students in grades K through 8 or ages 5 to 13 to enter their original and personally handmade art, which is publicly displayed in the art show the entire weekend.
And one thing about our youth art program, a lot of the patrons inquires about the artwork, they want to buy it, so I take their names, and when the parents of the students come in, I say, somebody want to buy your art. Oh, you ought to see the look in their face, because a lot of our artists is getting up in age, and we need these youth, our future artists, and it's just beautiful.
Well, whether you're coming to see art, love art, buy art, or support the next generation of artists in our community, the Orchard Lake Fine Art Show will have a little bit of something for everybody. From the heart of West Bloomfield Township, I'm Tyler Kieft, reporting for The Splash.
To find out more, you can visit civiccentertv.com/artshow18. Honoring those who served our country in times of turmoil is something that Tuskegee Airmen do very well. They also keep their legacy alive to inspire others. Reporter Rahaf Azam has the story.
Recently, the greater West Bloomfield community gathered together to celebrate and learn more about some of our country's greatest heroes. Members of the community and visitors alike gathered at the West Bloomfield Library for a look back at the heroism of the Tuskegee Airmen, finding connections between past and present to help build our future.
The Tuskegee Airmen, as has been said, they are the black men who the military said could not fly airplanes. But they rose to the occasion. They chose to hang in there together, learn to fly when they were told they could not. And yet, what did they do? They won the war.
Leaders of the local Tuskegee Airmen chapter led discussions and showed a documentary helping the community learn a bit about our history and the lessons it possesses.
One thing that the kids and the people in our community can learn from the Tuskegee Airmen is perseverance. How to stick together. When you accept a task, do it and do it with pride. Not just that it is important to the community but it's important to everybody.
In the end, the discussion informed community members and leaders of just what history means and why it is imperative that we keep our stories alive.
After a great evening of education and dedication, one thing is for sure, Greater West Bloomfield is dedicated to learn more about some of our country's greatest heroes. Reporting for The Splash, I'm Rahaf Azzam.
For more information about the Tuskegee Airmen, you can stop by our website at civiccentertv.com/flyingforfreedom. Still to come, we enjoy the ArtSail Summerfest, and then we take a look at a new episode of Sidewalk Talk.
Don't go away. You're watching The Splash on Civic Center TV. And now, back to The Splash on Civic Center TV.
Welcome back to The Splash. I'm your host, Shannon Line. Bringing local and talented artists together to share their work with the community is always a fun and inspiring time. ArtSail recently held their annual Summerfest, and reporter Sheena Manan was on hand to catch the action.
Today was a special day for artists and art lovers alike as the local communities came together to celebrate the creative passion of so many amazing artists.
I'm really excited today because I really feel like we did bring a great event to Kego Harbor today and to Sylvan Lake and Bloomfield Hills and West Bloomfield, all around. We have artists from White Lake, we have artists from Waterford, all the local areas. So I've been hearing comments that we have art we don't have anything that's like insurance or windows for sale. It's all homemade, handmade things by local artists. We've had music and dance. We're having hula hoopers later. So we're growing. We are now over double what we were before.
Whether or not you are an avid artist, it is beneficial to try your hand at some form of art.
It's not only a stress reliever, you find out and you discover your creative niche. So you find out maybe you like painting or spool knitting, so you need to try something, and it's peaceful, it's therapy, and then you meet more people when you come to events like this.
From the very young to the more experienced, each artist here had something that inspired them in their artwork.
Well, for me, I've always loved being outside ever since I was younger, and then I loved camping and stuff, so I kind of just was like, I want to take pictures of nature. Like, I never really thought of anything else taking pictures of. I've tried taking pictures of, like, stuff that isn't nature, and I've always come back to nature. It's relaxing, and it's just kind of fun to get out there and explore.
It was a new medium that I wanted to try out probably about 7 or 8 years ago. It was something brand new for me. I feel it's very therapeutic as far as relaxing and soothing, and then it just shows a little artistic side that you have that you didn't think you had.
We remain thankful that organizations like ArtSail exist to bring the community together so that we can find our favorite pieces of art. Reporting for The Splash, I'm Sheena Manan.
For more information on ArtSail Summerfest, visit civiccentertv.com/ArtSailSummerfest. Now it's time for another episode of Sidewalk Talk, where Samana Sheikh spoke to Greater West Bloomfield residents to find out their thoughts on a new topic.
I eat halal. Could you become vegan? No, I'm a caveman at heart.
I understand that. A lot of people can't give up meat.
That's right. No.
Why is that?
Nothing against vegetables. I like to eat them, but I love meat and more than happy to eat meat.
I'm
trying to think about where it comes from. I get the humane thing, but I couldn't give it up.
Absolutely not. I actually don't eat meat all that often, but I gotta have red meat every now and then.
I understand that. So what kind of red meat do you usually eat?
I love fillets and I love New York strips.
Absolutely not.
And why is that?
I love meat too much. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it.
No, I would never do that.
Do you love meat too much?
It tastes so good. I can't not. It's so good. I do love it too much.
No.
Why is that?
I want to eat beef and I want a variety.
Could you ever become a vegetarian?
I think I could, but I wouldn't want to. I just like chicken and steak too much, so I'd say no, I would not become a vegetarian.
So going off of that, what's your favorite meal?
Meatloaf. The family does not like meatloaf, but me, and every once in a while we have it, but not as much as I would like.
No. Why?
Because I love chicken too much.
No.
And why is that?
Because I love meat.
Shoot, no. I like me some bacon.
See you again next week on another episode of Sidewalk Talk. If you'd like to see some of our other fun and interesting questions on the show, you can do so anytime and anywhere by visiting our website at civiccentertv.com/sidewalktalk. And now it's time for our Civic Center event update, where we provide you with all the latest that's happening around Greater West Bloomfield. And if you'd like to stay up to date on all of the following current events yourself, you can visit civiccentertv.com/events. Let's get started. Treat your muscles to a morning of gentle therapeutic yoga at Spirit of Grace Church. Delightful gentle yoga is appropriate for adults in all levels of physical activity. Experience is not necessary. Delightful gentle yoga is taking place every Wednesday from 11 a.m. until noon. Drop-in price is $7 per class, or a monthly rate of $25 is available as well. It is encouraged that you bring your own yoga mat and be prepared to meet new friends and walk away with a better sense of your own well-being. For more information, visit spiritofgrace.church. It's time again for Henry's Market on Main, running now until November 14th at Henry Ford West Bloomfield Hospital. Anyone can participate in Henry's Market on Main, a great way to buy fresh, locally grown produce and other products. From 9 a.m. until 5 p.m. on Wednesdays, you can stop by to purchase fresh and healthy food, including baked goods, herbs, and more, as well as flowers and seedlings. Food samples will be available, as well as the hospital's specially invited chefs being on hand to demonstrate how to prepare healthy meals. This reoccurring event is free. For more information, contact Kelsey Bray at 248-325-0825. It's baby time at the West Bloomfield Township Public Library. On Friday, July 27th from 10 a.m. until 10:30, you and your baby, aged birth to 12 months, can join in on some very early learning and brain development for your child. Come and kickstart your baby's development through learning new rhymes and songs while having fun with creative physical skills activities. This is an interactive program designed to build positive communications between baby and caregiver, as well as boost your baby's brain development. Registration is required for this free event, and you can do so by visiting wblib.org. On Saturday, July 28th, you have the opportunity to take a boater safety class at the Keego Harbor Police Department from 10 a.m. until 6 p.m. Officer Jean Shea will conduct the safety instruction class for only $15. Once you have taken the one-day course, you will receive a state boater safety certificate, a requirement if you are going to operate a watercraft. The class is limited to 25 students, so do secure your spot soon. To do so, you can call Officer Shea at 248-682-3030. Join the community this weekend for one of its great summer traditions at the 16th Annual Orchard Lake Fine Arts Show, taking place on July 28th and 29th off of Daly Road. Come by on Saturday, July 28th from 10 a.m. until 6 p.m. and Sunday, July 29th from 10 a.m. until 5 p.m. to enjoy juried artworks from around the world. Entry is $5 for people over 13 years of age and free for those under age 13. You can purchase art that speaks to you or simply browse a variety of artworks available. This show was voted in the top 100 art shows in America, so you don't want to miss out. For more information or to purchase tickets, visit hotworks.org or call Patty Narosny at 248-684-2613. On Monday, July 30th from 10:30 a.m. until 11:15 a.m., stop by the West Bloomfield Public Library for a special musical concert the whole family will enjoy. This free concert features music from Guy Lewis, known for his entertaining and diverse style. Using instruments such as acoustic and electric guitars, a mandolin, and a ukulele, you can enjoy classics that will get all ages up and moving. No registration is required. For more information, you can contact the library's Youth Services Department at 248-232-2250. Knowing what to do if someone you know is considering or speaking of self-harm is vital to keeping our community safe. Jewish Family Service is offering a free training session on Thursday, August 2nd from 8:45 a.m. until 12:30 p.m. called Safe Talk Suicide Prevention Training. No prior experience is needed, and this free training is open to anyone over age 15. You will walk away equipped to identify signs of suicide or self-harm and will learn to apply the TALK steps: tell, ask, listen, and keep safe. For more information, you can call 248-406-0076. And that's all for now. However, if you're looking to find even more events going on in your neighborhood, then be sure to follow us at civiccentertv.com/events and look up our events calendar or watch us here for more information on everything going on in the greater West Bloomfield area. As we head into break, stay tuned because afterwards I'll be talking with Pam Zajac, Coordinator of Public Relations and Marketing for the West Bloomfield School District.
Don't go away. You're watching The Splash on Civic Center TV.
Civic Center TV is your home for everything Greater West Bloomfield. Here you can tune into community programming such as our weekly news magazine show, The Splash, as well as coverage of local events and meetings in Keego Harbor, Sylvan Lake, Orchard Lake, and West Bloomfield. You can also watch all of your local programming online anytime at civiccentertv.com. Civic Center TV, television that's close to home.
Civic Center TV has gone social. Now it's easier than ever to watch, save, like, and share our videos online. See what's happening in your neighborhood, on the streets, and on the web at civiccentertv.com. Be a part of the conversation and get involved. We would love to hear from you. For links to our social media pages, visit us at our website or find us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Civic Center TV, television that's close to home.
And now, back to The Splash on Civic Center TV.
Welcome back to The Splash. I'm Shannon Line, and here with me on the show this week is Pam Zajac, Coordinator of Public Relations and Marketing for the West Bloomfield School District. Thank you so much, Pam, for being with us today.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, and so you've had quite the long career here in West Bloomfield, and 29 years to be exact. That's an incredible feat. And as you look back on your time, and I see that you really try to keep the schools modern, what really sticks out to you?
Well, I guess the things that have had the biggest impact on my life was I've had the opportunity to work alongside three really great superintendents, Drs. Gary Faber and Joanne Andres and Dr. Gerald Hill, who's there now. And prior to that, the district was led by Dr. Seymour Gretschko. At that time, I was with the Community Education Department. But his legend still resonates in our district because what he always said was, his message was, whatever is in the best interest of the child. And that sort of permeated everybody else's thoughts and understanding throughout the district after that. I've seen the district grow in terms of what it has to offer. And in the past, our district, for instance, was not really known for its athletics. And our current athletic director, Eric Pierce, and the coaches that he's got, the phenomenal coaching talent, have really helped us gain national recognition. So those are the things that have changed. Our high school's on fire thanks to its leadership under Pat Watson. There isn't one area that's overlooked by the administration there. Our students are educated and they're cared about.
Yeah, absolutely. And it sounds like you're keeping our district to these modern standards of learning is really dear to your heart. I mean, kids are collaborating and, you know, technology has them interacting. In your opinion, how important is it to teach these kids about community and working together so early on?
Part of that community is that we started our STEAM program or initiative several years ago, and we were sort of, you know, right on the cutting edge, and our district was sharp enough to make sure that we added the A, which is the arts, to the STEM, which is science, technology, engineering, and math. And I think that that's made a huge difference. It's also project-based learning, which is an approach that makes the students work together. And our teachers are really, really setting the world on fire with this.
That's absolutely great. And kind of after your career here, what impact do you hope that you have left West Bloomfield schools with, which I'm sure that you have?
I don't know about my personal impact, but I know that when I see our kids doing community service projects, it affects me. And beginning in our elementary schools, I know that they'll take these ideals to adulthood and become better global citizens. So I think that those are the things that I really think and care about.
Absolutely. And that kind of answers my next question is, how has it impacted your life? You know, and so that's awesome. So,
well, I'm very impressed by the volunteers that I've had the chance to work with. You know, Debbie Macon, she's like our community cheerleader here. And people like Jeff Lieb, who started both of our Optimus clubs here at West Bloomfield and Keego Harbor. And to this day, he comes to every single meeting in West Bloomfield. And Cindy Hill, who's promotes human welfare through Rotary, and our former principal, Kathy Chico, who the school next door is named after, and she brought blessings in a backpack to the school district.
Yeah, that's awesome. So lastly, you know, after retirement, you still plan to stay very active in our community, which I see that you are with the Chamber of Commerce and the community clergy. What are some type of things that drive you to give to the community so much?
Well, I think that people who give unselfishly that I see, and they sort of inspire me, but the impact on the community for myself, I mean, I've had the greatest job in the world, I think, you know, because I've been able to make all of these community connections and work with these great people. But I guess if people wanted to get involved, I'd like to say that maybe I could help them in some way, or tell them to go to their library or their houses of worship or places like that and try and volunteer.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. It sounds like you've really impacted so many kids and so many people of the greater West Bloomfield. So thank you for that. And thank you for coming out here today, Pam. We really enjoyed talking to you and hearing more from you.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
So once again, everyone, we have been speaking with Pam Zajac, Coordinator of Public Relations and Marketing for the West Bloomfield School District. Now let's head over for another of our reoccurring segments called Parenting on the Go, where Sheena Manin discussed the topic of conflict resolution with a local expert.
Hello and welcome to Parenting on the Go. I'm Sheena Monin, and joining me today is Curt David, a counselor, author, and creator and producer of the TV show From Glory Days. His most recent book, titled The Change, is co-authored by some of the nation's leading authorities on change and transition. Thank you for being here with me today to talk about a really important topic. That's the topic of conflict resolution. We appreciate you joining us today.
Oh, thank you, Sheena. Glad to be here.
Absolutely. Tell me a little bit about how conflict appears in our lives, what we can do about it, all the nitty-gritty nuts and bolts.
Yeah, well, first of all, like I tell people, I'm not here to tell people how to avoid conflict, right?
Okay.
I mean, conflict happens in life. We can try to avoid it, but bottom line, it's going to happen in our families. It's going to happen in work environments. What I found is that most conflict occurs not because of necessarily mean words or people saying things or actions. It's lack of expectations. In other words, it's a misunderstanding of an expectation that causes the conflict. And so looking at that as the source, that gives us an idea of, okay, how do we approach that then? What are things that we can do to help with that?
Wow, that's interesting to think about. I never really thought about setting the bar, setting the standard, changing your perspective in that manner. That's amazing. I would imagine most people aren't actually actively out there looking for conflict, correct?
Yeah, most people, you're right.
Yeah.
Most people aren't. I mean, there might be a few that's what they enjoy that kind of stuff, but you're right. In general, most people are not looking for conflict, but it might be a lack of expectation. I'll give you a very real example. My wife and I, we love each other dearly, but she had an expectation for me and expressed it to me, and I didn't hear it clearly, and as a result, we got into a conflict. And part of it was that we were able to clarify, oh, okay, you expect me to do this. I had an expectation in my mind, and it did not match. You can take that on any level, on a work level, with your kids. You know, the expectation, the clearer the expectation, the less chance of a conflict.
So first of all, you have to know yourself what your expectation is, and I think most people walk around probably aren't very self-aware, so it's important to be like, what am I expecting, and then learn how to communicate that pretty clearly, I would imagine.
Absolutely.
So what are some tips that you can give adults, children, coworkers, you name it, to try to help manage conflict that will invariably arise?
Yeah, and there's no question. It's going to happen. I mean, it's just going to happen. One of the first things is address it as soon as possible. In other words, if you and I were, you know, if at nighttime, if I'm getting ready to put my head on a pillow and go to sleep, and I notice in the corner of the bedroom that there is a fire in my wastebasket, would I literally go to sleep and just say, I'll deal with that in the morning? Of course not. Yeah. And it's kind of that way with conflict. The longer you let conflict linger, the bigger that fire gets. And so one of the first things that anybody can do is address it as soon as possible. Now, there is a time and a place to kind of draw back, be reflective, and not say anything you might regret.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
Yeah. But then that's part of the wisdom of knowing, boy, if I'm going to say something I might regret, let's wait. Okay. But the sooner you can address it, the sooner the conflict can be resolved, because conflict tends to grow and fester and change over time if you let it fester that way.
Wow, that's interesting to consider, because I think sometimes, at least for myself as well, I'm like, you know what, I just don't want to deal with it. I don't want to talk about it. So we assume it's going to die down, but what you're saying is it probably will increase in that
Normally
moment.
not. Yeah, it's going to increase, exactly. And one of the next things you can do is affirm the relationship. In other words, before you start getting into resolving the conflict, talk about, hey, you know, you and I have been friends for a long time. This is really uncomfortable for me, but you know, this is something that came up, and I'd really like to work through it. By affirming that relationship, it sets the foundation. I can honestly say that if that doesn't happen, there's a very good chance the conflict isn't going to get resolved. Because you have to really lay that foundation of why that relationship is important before even getting into the conflict. Yeah. And then typically the next step after that is to seek to understand. In other words, you know, you said this to me the other day, or you know, you got a little snippy with me, and I wasn't sure. You know, after you set that stage of affirming the relationship, I'm trying to understand why that happened. And typically in conflict, most of us want to do the opposite of that. We want to talk about why I'm mad, why I'm upset, what you did wrong, you know, how I didn't, this happened and I didn't expect it to happen. And that's the exact opposite of what you're supposed to do in order to resolve conflict.
Wow, this is all fascinating. For those watching who are like, this can help me, this can help my family, are there any resources out there that can help us to improve in this way?
Yeah, I think, you know, there's plenty of them, certainly depending on what your values are. It could be something with the family, it could be other family members, certainly people in the school. There's people trained in schools to help with conflict, and work industry as well. You know, your pastor or priest or whatever, religious affiliation. Certainly there's lots of people that are trained to help with this, a lot of great experts as a result. And so just seeking those people out. But the most important thing is understanding that conflict is going to happen. It's just how do I resolve it best?
Don't bury your head in the sand. It's going to happen. Let's handle it. Thank you very much for being here today. I love this topic, and I personally learned some new things.
I appreciate it. Thanks, Sheena.
And thank you for watching this episode of Parenting on the Go. If you would like to look up more helpful parenting tips, you can visit the West Bloomfield Youth Assistance website at wbyouth.org.
For more episodes of Parenting on the Go, visit civiccentertv.com/parenting2go. Now it's time for our final segment on The Splash called Person of the Week, where we recognize those within the community who are either inspiring or providing towards others. And this week's recipients are Jason and Macy Zarati, avid environmentalists, and the 2017 Woodland Coronation's Prince and Princess of the Forest. It's not every day that we find such enthusiasm for keeping our planet safe and healthy as we see in 10-year-old Jason and his 8-year-old sister Macy. Together they are working to protect and conserve some of our natural resources. Jason is very involved with his school, doing what he can to help animals not just here in Michigan but also around the world. Jason has even led his local classmates to raise $5,000 for the World Wildlife Fund to help save animals, thus inspiring those around him to get involved and help our planet. Macy is known for her passion for monarch butterflies, becoming very involved with West Bloomfield Parks and their monarch butterfly event. Additionally, Macy used her love for monarch butterflies to organize and run the first ever Tree Runner Monarch Festival so the public could be involved in releasing butterflies and learning about their impact on our planet. Together and separately, these two young environmentalists are making a difference in our community and are leading others to do the same, which is why they are our Persons of the Week. If you happen to know someone who is providing a service to their community, then let us know by sending an email to thesplash@civiccentertv.com. We want to congratulate those who are making a difference in our area, and we appreciate all of your suggestions. That's going to do it for us this week, but remember, you can watch new episodes of The Splash every Monday at 5:30 p.m. or throughout the week for replays. You can also watch every episode online at civiccentertv.com. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook under Civic Center TV 15, YouTube at Civic Center TV 15, and on Twitter at Civic Center TV for more information. For all of our friends in Sylvan Lake, Orchard Lake, Keego Harbor, and West Bloomfield, I'm Shannon Line. Thank you for watching The Splash.